This is Talk of the Town, a weekly program featuring community events happening in and around Northeast Michigan. With your host, Bradley Summers. And get the latest from Alpena Community College with ACC President Dr. Don McMaster. And now, today's Talk of the Town.
Good morning and welcome to Talk of the Town. I'm your host, Bradley Summers, and today I have two very wonderful guests. My first guest is Leslie Dort from Friends Together. Hi, Leslie.
Hey there. Good morning.
Good morning to you as well. How have you been since the last time we've been?
Excellent. Excellent. Every day is a new opportunity.
Well, thank you again for being here.
You bet.
You know, I know, as we say every time that you're on the show, I know Friends Together is always busy in the community, engaging people going through the journey of cancer awareness and the cancer process and prognosis and all the things that you're doing to help ease those pains in a person's life.
Oh, absolutely. Survivorship starts the day you're diagnosed. And it's just not the patient who's got the journey. Everyone around that patient has a journey too. So we try to be there in a lot of different ways for a lot of different needs.
Yeah, because I mean, because it affects everybody.
It does. It can't not.
Yeah, and you know, and as a community as a whole. So, you know, and it's always just, you know, very refreshing to see all the great things that are going on with your organization inside, and then externally, you know, we're actually kind of talking about the fact that, you know, you have these wonderful organizations in the community that are saying, you know, we want to help you. And
it's really amazing when one or two will get together and decide, hey, let's do this thing, it'll be fun, and we'll give whatever proceeds to Friends Together. It's really a beautiful thing for a nonprofit to have that type of organic fundraising.
Yeah, and I mean, just to have that attention and bringing those networks.
Oh, absolutely.
And it's how, you know, all nonprofits, anybody that sits, you know, in any of these seats here, it's always to bring in more people means that you can expand your services and expand your outreach.
And for every new person who does something like that, you know there's at least 10 that have a similar journey. You know, cancer touches so many.
It does, and I just, you know, so I always applaud what you all are doing.
Thank you.
You know, some of these things, one big thing that you have coming up is a quilt raffle.
We do, yeah. The group at the Senior Citizen Center made this gorgeous king-size quilt. It's blues and creams, but you don't even have to have blues and creams. It's just absolutely, the workmanship is fantastic. So those raffle tickets are available at Friends Together, and it'll be drawn and given away at our pop-up boutique on May 6th.
Awesome, and that's at is that at the Thunderbolt Lanes?
It is, yeah, north entrance. It's going to be a fun time. So just pop in and shop at the boutique itself, and then we've also got vendors who are going to be there selling their wares. So it'd be a great friend day out or an early Mother's Day gift to your mom. Take her with or buy her something. It's all kinds of things are coming in the office. We're shopping every day. We're like, okay, we want that when we get there on Saturday the 6th. But and also the bowling alley is really generous with their space, but they're also going to have their concession shop open, so you can order lunch while you're there.
Yeah, you got to stop at the Burger Shack while you're there.
Absolutely. Have a beer if you want.
Some of the best pizza.
Shop some more.
Yep. Have a beer, have a pizza, and some of the best French fries in town for sure.
Absolutely.
You know, and I know also we wanted to talk a little bit too about the classes that you have upcoming in May.
Yes, yes, we have what we're calling Tuesday Topics, and it's one Tuesday a month. So it's the second Tuesday every month. We have an hour-long program that starts at 4:30, and May's is really important for anyone, cancer aside. It's a fall prevention program that Andy Marceau from the fire department gives. So we're very excited for that, because if you don't need it personally, you know somebody. So these are tips you can learn, and you can come in person to our office on May 9th at 4:30, or the Zoom link is on our website, so you can also Zoom in. Plus, when they're done, we record it and I get it up on our website. So even if something happens, you can't take advantage of it on the day, you can always go to our website and get the information.
And Andy's such a wonderful leader.
He is so personable.
Advocate for our community and all the things that are going on, and I know he's going to give an amazing presentation, I'm sure.
Right, and we can do some of these things in Alpena easily because most of us are here. But even our Rogers City group is having some neat things going on in the month of May. They typically meet Mondays at the Presqu'Île Library at 3. Well, in May, every Monday there's going to be a special activity. So it might be a craft, or it could be a game, or it could be something new and exciting every Monday in May.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And you know, I think the last time you were on, we talked a little bit about the gas cards and the
Yes.
need, and of course your driving fleet, and the things that you're doing to get people to their appointments locally and throughout the state.
Well, and we heard an interesting thing from a patient today who called and wanted a ride. They weren't sure if he could get a ride because he was in Alpena just going to our cancer center. For some reason, there was a misunderstanding that we only drove out of town, but many of our rides are just local. Treatment can be daily, so getting those rides every day is important.
Well, and I'm sure he learned something very valuable, that just call and talk to one of the friendly
Right.
people that are going to pick up the phone there.
Never hurts to ask.
No, it never hurts to
No,
ask. And,
absolutely not.
And I'm sure no was not an option.
No, thankfully it is not. And we can just help even with advocacy or navigation questions. We have an hour and a half set aside specifically every Tuesday morning at 8 o'clock to 9:30, where people can just drop in. You have an issue navigating your oncology care, stop in. Ask the question, learn how to advocate for yourself.
Yeah, and it's and that's the best way to learn, is to ask.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know, and last time you were here too, just to give a little update, was you had the kits that were available.
Oh, our comfort.
Yeah,
Yep.
the comfort kits. And are those still available?
Absolutely, always. And we're always looking for school groups or youth groups. We were talking before of how involved our student population is in our communities, nonprofits. Well, that's something very easy a school group can do, as well as just donate things that might go in the comfort bag, or have a card writing campaign, and you write anonymous, to an anonymous patient, wishing them good luck or saying a few nice things, put it on a greeting card and hand us a stack of greeting cards. They will get to patients in treatment, and it's just such a boost. They're just unique things our students come up with.
Any way that we can spread love and kindness
Right.
and a smile to help another person get through something.
Just don't know how important that is.
Yeah, and it always warms my heart to hear young people are willing to do these
Yeah.
things to help, people that, maybe a few generations ahead of them in life, or it could be someone affecting them,
Absolutely.
right in their everyday life too. But, to take that extra step and show someone that you care.
And it means so much to those who receive them. But yes, our comfort bags are a standard service that we offer, as well as our patient planner to help guide people through their whole cancer journey.
Awesome. Well, Leslie, that's
Yeah.
all the time that we have today.
Goes so fast.
It goes by so fast every time. Thank you again for being here.
Oh, thank you. I always enjoy it. It's delightful.
Yeah. Take care. After the break, representative from Hope Shores Alliance. Welcome back, everyone. My next guest today is Janine Kaltz of the Hope Shores Alliance. Hi, Janine.
Hi, it's nice to see you.
It's nice to see you. Thank you for being here.
Of course.
This is the first time you've been on this show.
With you.
With
yes,
me.
Yes.
With me. So yeah, you might have heard it, maybe with Nancy, she was here for 36 years. So.
Yeah, I managed to squeeze in.
Yeah.
In
Well,
30 years.
Thanks for squeezing it in today to get on the show. I know we were talking a little bit before the show too, and if anybody has never been to your website, it's incredible.
Oh, good.
You have a beautiful website, very interactive, a lot of statistics, and especially, some of the things that were really discussed a lot in the month of April was your Sexual Assault Awareness Month.
Absolutely.
And I know that's concluding. Obviously, we're at the end of the month of April, but I know there's some things that we should all be cognizant of every day, because sexual assault just doesn't happen in the month of April. It's all the time.
Absolutely. I think folks at home would probably be pretty shocked to know how busy we are at Hope Shores Alliance. I've been there for 11 years, and just about every year we're increasing services. So the emergency shelter continues to be booked and blessed in that way, right? There's always people there, so we're very grateful for it, but we've had to utilize hotel vouchers more and more each year because there's just, the need is so much greater than what we have. When it comes to sexual assault services as well, we're working with survivors who are children, men, women, non-binary. It does not matter what your race or gender is. Sexual violence impacts all of us, for sure.
Yeah, and you know, and it's so imperative that we, you know, that we notice and recognize these things every day. You know, as I was saying, but you know, it's just, I'm always amazed at all the wonderful things that you all do, you know, not just for this month, because I know after this month, you know, everything will shift focus to something else in the community that needs an awareness, you know, some kind of way for people to know what's going on and just bring it to the forefront of our minds. Because if, you know, sexual assault isn't something that maybe, you know, you obviously probably see it a lot more often than I do, but, you know, it's not something that may be like right at the forefront of your mind. But when, you know, an organization is advocating for people that are going through these horrible things and how to get through it in a positive light and see the light at that end of the tunnel and be greeted with such a, you know, warm, friendly smile like you all do, that's going to mean so much for your clients and the patients that you see.
Yeah, absolutely. And our theme for our past awareness months, including April, and I'm sure we'll continue into October for Domestic Violence Awareness Month, has been, when I'm wearing this, everyday advocacy, meaning, yes, people come to Hope Shores Alliance and they come for professional support, but sexual assault is a vastly underreported crime. So as high as our numbers are, we know that many people are not reaching out to law enforcement. They might not be reaching out to us, but people often reach out to their friends, their family, their classmates, their colleagues, maybe just dipping a toe in the water of saying this thing happened. And that way we can make a much safer community if we're all on the same page, meaning sexual violence is about power and control. So we get a lot of confused about a lot of other things, but if there's no consent, then it is sexual violence.
Yes.
Consent is mandatory. The other thing is, if we believe, we support, and we validate survivors, we are going to see so just completely different outcomes. Because if a survivor comes to me and I have a big reaction, right, they're likely going to shut down, especially children. If I have a reaction of doubt or mistrust, which we see way too often, because just like we heard in the last segment, as soon as you receive that disclosure, you're now impacted. So exactly the same we heard about cancer. People in trauma aren't their best selves.
Yes.
So if my child says I've been sexually assaulted, which is unlikely that that is how they would frame it, as a parent, it would not be unusual to say, if you're lying, people will get in trouble.
Yeah.
It's not okay. Because as a parent, I want this to be a misunderstanding. That's the best thing, right? This child I love so much wasn't hurt. We think of this with smaller kids, but the same thing happens when our kids come home from college. And it's not unusual for parents to say, you're not going back. Which is punishing a survivor, that victim blaming. So if instead you take the approach of Hope Shores Alliance, which is believe, support, validate, give voice and choice to survivors, focus on autonomy, meaning giving them the voice, and making sure they have next steps. We work with hospitals and law enforcement so that they are doing this in every interaction with survivors. Because there is nothing we can do more than give survivors their power back. Somebody worked really hard to rip it away from them. And anytime I can do something that bums an abuser out, I'm all for it.
Right? I could just feel your passion.
Yes.
You know, those 11 years of just passion, you know, to, like you said, make this a better community and educate.
Absolutely.
You know, because healthy relationships aren't something that everybody sees every single day.
No, absolutely
and
not.
giving resources to young people as well as, you know, an older generation on how to have a healthy relationship.
For
no
sure.
means no.
For sure. And we know that for women, more than half of their sexual assaults are within the relationship, an intimate partner relationship. I do get really excited when I get to talk about things because, you know, you have your tabling events. People aren't drawn to Hope Shores Alliance. There's a lot of, ooh.
Well,
what a bummer. But I hope that people can see from myself and others who work there that it's important, it is passionate, and if we're scared to talk about these things, abusers are not afraid to be the ones to tell people, actually, this is okay. Oh, yeah. They'll be the ones who teach about boundaries, who teach about consent, and they're going to do it, you know, to manipulate, to coerce, to control. So anytime anybody is like able to listen and take in the information, I am there.
Opportunities
very excited
to educate.
Very much so.
You know, and just, you know, with the very few seconds that we have remaining already, you know, talk a little bit about some of the volunteer opportunities. I know volunteers are really imperative with your organization and help with so many different facets, more than I've seen with some organizations.
Absolutely. So I'm sure you can relate to being grant-based, where there's a lot of you can't do this and you can't do that. When we have volunteers, it is everything from administrative, so there are actually educational opportunities, lots of opportunities for folks who are retired or looking for first jobs, but it is everything from being at the emergency center to being the first person to answer the phone, direct where that goes, to helping our administrative staff do their work. So that could include if you want to learn more about accounting, maybe supporting their opportunities across the board. If everybody could please just make sure to go to our website, like you said, I'm so glad it got redone a couple years ago, so I'm glad you like it. And check us out, Facebook. We are very active on our social media. Hope Shores Alliance, if when we're hiring, with Sexual Assault Awareness Month, we had every single day we were doing something different. Make sure to check us out. We're always active doing something, and I promise we're not as scary, not as big of a bummer as folks think we are.
Oh, well, Janine, thank you so much for your time today, and thank you for being here.
Thank you.
It was a great conversation, and thank you for teaching us a lot more about what you do.
Thank you.
And thank you all for joining us today. Have a great rest of the week.
Greetings, everyone, and welcome to Talk of the Town. I'm Dr. Don McMaster, president of Alpena Community College, and I'm pleased to have as our guest this morning Amy Atwell, career navigator at Alpena Public Schools. Welcome, Amy.
Hello, welcome. Thank you.
So what does a career navigator do?
So my position was created to bring awareness to students of APS from K all the way to 12th grade. So kindergarten through 12th grade is who I work with. So bringing career awareness, career exploration, career preparation, so all of the tools to get those kids ready and inspired to figure out what they're going to do, you know, once they graduate high school, because that's a big undertaking. So just exposing them to all sorts of areas of the workforce.
Yeah, that's such an important task, because once we're out of school, we tend to forget that young people have never had a job experience, many of them. So, you know, our desire for them to, you know, get pointed directly onto a career, you know, it happens, but sometimes, you know, if you don't have any experience or any awareness, that's difficult for young people to do.
Absolutely.
So career awareness, that also incorporates CTE, or what we call CTE.
Yes.
And there we had a really neat event over at the college yesterday. Can you frame that for the viewers?
Yeah, so it was our first ever CTE, which is Career and Technical Education, signing day. So it was kind of a very fun event, learning experience for all of us too. So we had students, which are current seniors at Alpena High School, who are in a career and technical education program at the high school and continuing that program at ACC in the fall of 2023. So they're continuing their education in that technical field, and we did a fun signing day to recognize and celebrate them for making that decision, that super important decision.
Yes, it was part of a national CTE signing day.
Yes.
That, interestingly to me, was created by an Alpena native, Roger Tedeschi.
Yes.
Roger created an organization called NC3, which is a credentialing operation, and he has been very influential nationwide in promoting CTE education.
Yes.
And we had a big crowd.
We did. We had 12 students who participated yesterday, and it went really, really smoothly. They had lots of parents and friends and family that attended as well. So it was a very inspiring day.
Yeah, it was. It's a very good way to put it. You know, CTE students don't get the kind of glory of, you know, really good athletes who sign, or, you know, in some cases the valedictorian, salutatorian, they get honored for their scholarly achievements. CTE students don't, and the premise here was to give them that kind of exposure.
Absolutely, yeah, the acknowledgement of making that very important decision, you know, for their future. And, you know, the trades, skilled trades, are growing. And so CTE is all about those skilled trades. And so, again, and APS has, or Alpena High School has, state-of-the-art equipment over there. So, you know, we encourage employers and organizations that are of the skilled trades to come in, go walk through our facility and see what these students are working with, what they're doing in the classroom. It's important because they are getting the training and the education that they need to enter the workforce right out of high school if they choose to do that, and, you know, and don't want to further their education at the college level. They get credentials and certifications through their programs at the high school that make them employable right after graduation.
Yeah, Amy, you're so right. CTE education is so vibrant, and over at APS, and it is at ACC as well. But yeah, I think Joyce McCoy and the team of folks that are teaching in that area can't be commended more for the focused effort they've done to upgrade the curriculum. The labs are beautiful. And really the excitement that students have in these programs, I think perception, long-standing perception is CTE is kind of a dull place to be. But I was over there last Monday, and, you know, they had created, a group of them kind of working cross-functionally, had created an electric vehicle. That was cool. That's
a very cool project. And surprisingly, on that project alone, they didn't think they were going to get it done in a semester. And those kids in the mechatronics, which is transferring or transitioning into engineering and robotics technology for next year, those advanced students just jumped on it and put that car together, and they were, you know, wheeling it around outside. They were riding it around outside. It was such an amazing thing to see how they, just their knowledge and the education that they received up to this point, where they were able to make this vehicle, you know, operable, because it just came in boxes. There was nothing put together other than the frame itself. So the things that students are able to do in their CT programs at the high school is just, you can't even put it into words.
Yeah, well,
you really need to see what it is. So
yeah, I agree. And that just speaks to their motivation and how excited they are by what they're learning. You know, it's certainly not the case that every student wants to be an English teacher or a history major. You know, some of them, you know, they want to build things. They want to know how electronics work. They want to get their hands in. This is what the CTE program promotes. And then, you know, they come to ACC. And so we're all glad about that. We have a very active, productive manufacturing and welding. Many of the programs align perfectly. And so in your work, I think we got about a minute left. What sort of thing brings you the most satisfaction?
Seeing those successes. I mean, whether they're small, big, anything that gets a student excited about, you know, their future, that's the joy. You know, whether it's a kindergartner coloring a picture of a dump truck because that's what they want to do when they get, you know, when they grow up, or it's a senior that's, you know, making the choice to further their education at ACC or even elsewhere in a skilled trade because it's so very much needed. Any of those successes is what brings me joy.
Well, thank you, Amy, for what you do for APS and the community and these students, and thank you for your role in bringing this together yesterday. It was an inspiring event, and it does, I think, really indicate the strong partnership between APS and ACC, which benefits everyone.
Absolutely.
And thank you, folks, for watching Talk of the Town. We'll see you again next week.
This has been Talk of the Town with your hosts Bradley Summers and Dr. Don McMaster. For a list of community events taking place in Northeast Michigan, please visit our website at WBKB11.com and click on our community link. This has been a Thunder Bay Broadcasting Corporation production. All rights reserved.